Three, two, one. Welcome back to the Click to Close podcast. My name is Travis Halverson, joined by the one and only
Preston
Mr. Preston.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good.
Good.
When people ask my name, I want to do that from now on.
Do it. Yeah, do the intro. Preston. Could I do a whisper with Rome when I join a room? Travis.
Travis Halverson.
Like, what's the guy's name? The Buffett guy? Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Oh!
AI again.
Not about your herpes.
Not about my herpes. About AI. AI.
So
But
what
it's
do-
like the difference of things.
What did we launch?
We currently just launched inboxes inside of SureSend.
And we are testing AI.
AI. We are
Which-
testing.
Right now, it's just going into, well, I shouldn't say just, but you'll be able to run automations. Say a lead comes in from whatever source or is assigned to whatever agent or has a tag. You could choose to make a call using AI, which we're going to have AI agents to choose from. So, like, think of it from a standpoint of, hey, I'm generating home value leads. I want to use the home value AI bot, which they could use to call and text and chat on the website. But yeah, we're testing that starting next week.
That's
an
exciting.
automations. And, you could use all the things. Like if you want to use time delay, like for you, if like, was it 10 days of gain now, right? You drop the pain.
Yes,
So it's gain.
it's gain.
So 10 days of gain.
10 days of gain.
So think of it from the standpoint to make a call, no answer, maybe a 1 minute time delay or no time delay, and then repeat that same step. If there's no answer. And then you could use AI to text first, right? Yep. You could text first and then call, use the same number, and then at the end of the day call. So like whatever you think from a 10 days of pain gain, we could run that on any new lead coming in, and it'll handle the conversation based on whatever they're doing on the website. Whatever's in the CRM, they'll be able to look at all those details and then have that conversation based on that.
Yep.
Which will be text, email, and it could be the same one on a web chat as well. So
and what you showed me yesterday with all the different voices.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
We were going to go down a rabbit hole on that. We played like 10 different voices, and he just kept scrolling. Like, there's so many options.
Yeah, we're going to hide a lot of those. I mean, there's like people will get buried in like
trying to pick a voice, the perfect voice.
And there's some of the models where the voices are more expensive. So, we're just going to build them. Originally, we had it set up to where the user could go in and build it however they want. But the problem is most people aren't going to do that. And it really doesn't make sense because you got to put in guardrails and everything else with it. So we're going to build them, and then they'll have an agent library where, like, if it's a roofing company or a mortgage company or whatever it is, they could choose the AI that makes sense.
Yep, and which is going to be exciting because people are have been asking for this for a long time. And I think with like AI and how it's starting to evolve, like we're getting closer and closer to just letting it run.
Yeah, I mean, too, the beauty of it is you could do it all inside the CRM. There's no plug-in. You just, drop it. You pick an automation. You build it out. We'll build a lot of automations to share in the library. Mm-hmm. So if they're an AI user, then they just grab that automation from the library. Here's 10 days of gain with AI. They just buy AI credits. You buy AI voice and AI text credits, and it just uses the credits, and you set it to auto top off. So if you're like, okay, if I've used up all the credits, buy $100 worth more. So you can really pay attention to how much you're spending and all those things. So,
which database do I build the automations in? Just so I can build them out, and then I can.
Yeah, we can't build them out yet, but starting next week, it'll be the SureSend. It'll all be in the SureSend CRM database.
Sweet.
We're going to have it toggled on where only certain people could see, because I don't want somebody going in there and trying to build something or blow it up or whatever. What's cool, though, is like as we're building it and we finish building it, we could then put our phone number in and it'll call us, and we could have a conversation to test it to make sure it's not crazy.
That's so cool.
But I mean, the agent's already built. Like we have those built in VoChat. We just got to pull them out of VoChat, which Brandon has been testing that for a year. Mm-hmm. Agentic AI is already built in VoChat.
Yeah.
So he's already got the agents built. We've been testing for a year, or he's probably been doing it more than that now. And he's got it dialed in. We just got to transfer it over there into the actual SureSend CRM. And then once we do that, we'll run that for a month or two. And then we'll have agentic AI inboxes coming, which will probably be September. It'll definitely be in Q3 of this year.
So thinking back to it though, like where we started with AI, like obviously like AI at the beginning was just like what you'd be lucky to get it to call people.
Well, I mean,
Just thinking back like to the very beginning, like maybe like 2 years ago with us.
yeah. So like a year ago, right? Like
Not even 2 years ago. You're right. Yeah, a year ago.
I mean, 2 years ago, right? There was companies. I mean, there still is like structurally, which it was like a lot of the original. They called it AI. It really wasn't. Is like if this, then this.
And you could
like,
talk to it out of its own prompt. Like you could have a
yeah,
conversation.
you would actually have to build that workflow. You would have to say, okay, well, if this thing says this person says yes or no, say this. Where AI, you just train it, and the beauty we have is we've been training on conversations and all the things for
forever.
years.
Yeah, forever.
So we have, all of these different for us building it. There's almost a there's definitely a craft to building AI agents.
Yeah.
The beauty is we have so much knowledge that we've shared over the last. When I say knowledge, like when we build an agent, we'll choose a knowledge center. It goes to that knowledge center, and depending on what it is, like obviously the one that is talking about mortgage pre-approval and getting them approved is going to have a different knowledge center.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll be able to look at current rates and see things like that. Where say the buyer lead or the website registration is going to have a broader knowledge base because they'll need to be able to understand like the home value side or like the that the whole, I mean, that's the most, when you think of the complexity of like a website registration, I don't think there's one that's more complex than the buyer lead because that could go, or a website registration lead in real estate, because it could go in
So many different directions.
100 different directions.
Yes, so many different directions.
If somebody's filling out a form for a free roofing quote or
Yeah, you know where
free
it's
roof
going.
inspection,
You know where it's going.
it's pretty much dialed in
Free
to
roofing
what
quote.
you need.
I need a
like-
plumber.
Yeah,
It's
like,
what?
you're not going to talk about their kids and their families and why they're moving and what's motivating them and everything else. And like
They need a
roofing lead.
roof.
Yeah, the same thing for like HVAC or whatever it is. Like a lot of those are a lot easier. Even mortgage is going to be typically easier, but you still got to go to the motivation. Like if you just go straight into rate and everything else without building that relationship, which is crazy. Like what we've seen is sometimes people are more willing to give information to AI.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, they're like, well, I'm not being judged. It's a freaking robot. And I'm used to it now. I talk to Alexa all the time. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I mean, we have been conditioned as a society to talk to machines. We do it every day. Alexa, I don't really talk to Siri. Do you use Siri? Uses Siri. I don't.
No,
use
every single time I say, "Hey Siri," then she says, "Do you want to use ChatGPT or internet?" And I'm like, "What? I answer my question. Why are you saying that back to me?"
But I don't. But anyway, we're being conditioned to that, just like the way we're changing up the website registration to where it'll be a text link, a text code, a magic link you'll put in, because the reason we're doing that is people are being conditioned to it, and the beauty of it is you get better phone numbers. And you get mobile phone numbers. You're not going to text to a landline, so that's you're going to get a good phone number if they
And I think even inside SureSend we have a way that phone type, isn't that one of our filters?
yeah, phone type.
Phone type. So if it comes back as a
The
landline,
problem that is not always accurate.
yeah. Well,
it's like 80%.
That's what I've been telling people.
70 to 80% of the time it's accurate. It's probably closer to 70. But if you let them know that they're going to receive a text code, they're not going to put their home phone number.
Yeah. Like, I didn't get it.
I don't even
A
have
fax
a-
over to you.
When's the last time you had a home phone number?
253. I don't remember. Probably when I was.
I'm not asking you for your phone number.
I know. I was about to remember it though. I was trying to remember what it was.
Do you remember your phone number when you grew up as a kid?
253. I know it's 253 because I lived in Seattle, and then it's 2769. So I know the first three and the last four.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like 13, 14. Mm-hmm. No, less. I was probably like 12. 12 was when I had a landline.
Yeah.
I remember it was like green. I remember we got caller ID. That was wild.
Yeah.
I also had dial-up internet though, so my mom couldn't get phone calls when I was on the computer. It would do that loud noise that.
But I mean, that's so that's the
That's a
beauty.
good
Like,
time.
the idea is like you'll be able to, with agentic AI, you'll be able to put somebody in your so if it's a company inbox, right, you would be able to add somebody that answers the calls and takes those conversations.
So we're getting to the point where it's like, obviously with like VAs and people that are answering inbound calls and different things like that, like a lot of that stuff is getting handled by agentic AI at this point.
Yeah, I mean, inbound calls are easier
Because they're
people
calling in with a specific
They're
purpose.
calling, yeah, they're calling in. Where I think you're still going to need the ISAs, but the cool thing is like if you turn on, we have an AI inbox now, right? Like the cool thing is like all the conversations that are happening in the AI inbox in SureSend, whether it's via text, whether it's a phone call or the web chat, you'll be able to see it in inbox as it's happening, and you could jump in and take over. So you think of it from an ISA standpoint, they could be looking at all these different things happening as it's going, and then be able to jump in and take over the call.
Just like daydreaming about like what it could be. Man, it could be so good.
Yeah. But then Agentic AI, which we'll roll, like I said, we'll roll that out in September. Then that's just, I mean, it might be sooner, but we want to test it definitely, which has already been tested in VoChat for a year. And then Brandon started rolling out Agentic, I think, in the last couple months.
We got to ask him if we can change the name.
Yeah, but then
Give it a personality.
then that'll roll out in SureSend, and then you just apply it to an inbox and
Let's call it Draymond.
call, text, email,
That's going to be so
hold a
sweet.
conversation, look at everything in the CRM.
And it changed stage and stuff?
That's another thing. The one we have now already does that. Yeah. So say I get on a call and I hand it off, you could change the stage you could change the time frame stage,
And the time frame stage too?
time frame, actual stage,
Based off the conversation?
based off the conversation.
Ooh, that'd be sick.
Yep. So it could do all those things. Like what we're doing is there's defaults that we could set up. So like based on whatever the conversation, if it's a handoff, you could add a tag. So we turn on the endpoints where it could actually connect to those and actually handle those, so it can move it to whatever stage it needs to go to. If it's a live transfer, it'll move it to maybe hot or whatever it is, however you set that up. And then it will put the live transfer tag on it, and then set the appointment in the calendar
So insane.
and set the task. It could do all those things. So it'll do that now. Like that's not future. Like that's what we're building now, which we'll start beta testing that in the next week or two. And then future Agentic is like you just turn it on, and it's like you think of, I'm assigning this lead to Travis. Travis is going to text, is going to call, is going to email. If I have a conversation with Travis about rental property, or if I have a conversation with Travis about property taxes in Horry County compared to Georgetown County, I'll get off that call. The AI will then research property taxes in 2 counties, send you an email based on that.
When does this become that's going to be insane.
Yeah.
When does this become, I mean, obviously like how much it costs for us to do it, but like when does it become too much for like the consumer? I mean our consumer, like a client.
The cost of it?
Yeah, because it is. I mean, obviously, when there's only so much water in the world, there's only so many small villages that we can take resources from.
Yeah, I mean,
does it get like to the point where it's like, oh man, this was really great for a little bit, and then they started to increase prices on things like that, where it like affects the actual down the line people? I don't know. Does that make sense? What I'm asking.
it does, but I mean, a good ISA is $60,000 a year,
Yeah.
or $100,000 a year.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's $1 a minute, $1 a minute, 100,000 minutes, you ain't gonna go through that in a year.
No. Yeah. Not at all.
And if you are, you're making a shitload of money, so
Yeah.
it
As I
doesn't
say,
matter.
it doesn't matter at that point.
And
So you just look at the cost of like what you would be spending compared to. Okay. I mean, that's how you do business normally. So.
yeah, but you also look at it from the standpoint of how does that change the real estate team of the future?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. That's why I was just wondering. Like.
I mean, like, so if you have 100 agents, 20% of them are probably doing what you want them to do.
That's so sad.
I mean,
It's so true.
how true
No,
is that?
true. It's the truest statement I've heard. That's why I laugh every time
Okay.
I hear it, because it's sad.
So you take
so sad.
you take the 80 agents, because we recruit so heavily because we have to, because
Your top agent at any moment in time could just stop doing top agent things.
well, whatever, you recruit 10 agents in a month, you might have 2 to 3 that works out.
If you're lucky sometimes.
I'm just saying, yeah, just use those numbers.
Yeah.
So 2 to 3. So if I recruit 100 agents in a year,
And you
all
retained.
the money and time and investment there, I retain, say, 20 to 30 that are actually doing a decent amount of business? Or do I go the route of agentic AI where I could have them calling, setting appointments for agents that actually want to work? And then you could navigate that commission split, better on the company side because you're doing all those things
For the agent.
teeing them up, and then you got people just willing, and we already know what agents are willing to take.
Yeah.
I mean, Zillow's showing us right now, we're going to take 40% from the company. So there's really, if you look at it in a grand scheme of things, there's 60% left. And a lot of these companies are paying the agent 40% of what's remaining. I'm not going to make you do the math, but it lands around the agent is getting anywhere from 20 to 30% of the total commission when a Zillow lead is involved.
I talked to an agent. One of the couple that we were with when we went to the Forrest Frank concert, he is an agent. He's an agent here in the area. And he said, that was what my Facebook post was about. He said he got so sad because he worked so hard on this one listing to then find out like later that it was actually like a Zillow lead. And he was like, this should have been like a $15,000 check. And it was like 7,000, or it was ended up being like 7,000 after everything. And he was like, man, it's a hurtful. It's just real painful. That's why I was like, I just don't get why sometimes.
Yeah,
just work
but you also
hard.
think about it like if the agent AI gets that good as setting the appointments, doing those things, and the agent is showing up for the appointment, the amount of work they're doing, when there's all of that, they're making the calls and doing all the things and everything else. There's a lot more work involved.
Yeah,
and they should be compensated higher. But in this scenario, if it gets that good and does all those things, you could have agentic AIs that are assistants to an agent.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this, I'm Preston, I'm Travis Halverson's assistant that he feeds crumbs to.
He feeds crumbs to.
I'm here to, help you and blah, 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 so that people get used to it. And it's, and we're already being conditioned for that anyway.
Every single day. Yeah.
Now, the downside, what we have to think about is we already calling, you're maybe getting 5% of people on the phone now with all the different ways, like to get through.
Yeah, 5 to 10%, anywhere than 10 if you were the luckiest human ever.
So the concern we all have to think about is what happens with agentic AI as it's texting more, as it's emailing more. So the things like your domain authentication and keeping a good domain that actually is getting to inboxes is super important.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, like agentic AI, if it's doing all those things and sending those one-off emails and they look like emails written by a person, then your emails should start landing more and more in the inbox because they're doing it based on a conversation they had. So like that person responds to the email, agentic AI is responding back until it's ready for you to take it over.
Is there anything that's stopping, like, obviously inbound calls and people opting in and stuff like that, but is there any, like, upcoming issues with, like, remember, like, what was it, during January, it was, like, all the TCPA stuff? Like, that was a year ago. Is there any stuff that, like, I don't ever follow that stuff?
It definitely will. It's going
Especially
to be,
with the outbound calling.
Yeah, but, they were supposed to do something on trigger leads, and it still hasn't. Like, I get freaking...
What's trigger leads?
Trigger leads are like you apply for financing. They share it with every other
like
lender in the world.
when I was getting my house, I got called by every single human ever.
Yeah. So those, so they're triggered based on somebody checking credit or, it's crazy. Like Equifax, Experian, the amount of data that they sell. So, and that's what they were, the whole trigger lead thing was, is like, I should not, if I'm just checking my credit score, my data should not be sold. But it is, right? So
that's crazy.
And now they're using AI for those, or they're using recorded calls or whatever it is. And I got this lady, Amanda something, calling me, and I have blocked her number at least 50 times.
So, man, if you're listening to this,
at least 50
you
times.
better knock it off.
It's a recording at least 50 times. And then it's on a number pool. So she keeps... If I was really an asshole, because I'm on the do not call list, I could hire a freaking attorney today and be like, listen, I have...
You're talking about funding your own business, man.
Yeah, I have blocked this number and asked them to quit calling me at least 50 times. and they're still calling. The problem is a lot of those are overseas, and you do all those things and are overseas and do nothing you can do. But there are people out there that do that.
Well, you could go after the company though that hired that overseas person.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it all the time. We've had.
I mean, I'm
people,
not going to do that, but I'm just saying there's
it's
people.
karma at that point, especially with us.
Well, there's people out there that do that, right?
It's crazy.
To me, like the real estate company calling is so far down on the totem pole of like who you could really go after, because
Politics.
I want to go after the freaking. Well, you ain't ever going after politics.
You ain't never going to have politics.
No,
They're protected
but-
by something.
No, they
are protected by
Yeah, they are protected. They could do whatever the hell they want.
Oh, that's why we were saying I should run for mayor so I could never get in trouble.
That's right. But
I should have been running.
but financial. I mean, those are the ones they want to go after because banks have a lot more money than real estate teams and companies. Like, why waste your time?
Why would you
with
waste
them?
your time? Yeah.
Just go apply for credit.
Man, that's so true.
And there's attorneys that do that. Like there's attorneys that that's all they do is chase. Because that's why, like, we have a litigator check. It'll check known litigator numbers and flag it if it's a known litigator.
What's the definition of litigator?
So somebody that filed a TCPA
Got it.
lawsuit.
You told me that before. All right, now I remember. Is that real big reason why we have our the agentic AI like on leads that are coming inbound? Like
Yeah,
the
and that's
people
why
that
we're
have
going to be
registered,
we're
very
gonna be,
specific about it.
Yeah, we're going to be very careful. One, if they sign up to use it, there's gonna be a document. And I got John Henson, our attorney, putting it together where it's like, before you turn this on,
Please understand.
you have to read this document, check off like 15 different places, sign it, and it's your ass.
Yeah.
But really,
But we put in things like if the person says text back stop, it won't call it again. Or if the person says stop on the phone, it won't text them or
yeah,
But they can email them,
all that's
which is crazy to me.
all that's built into the AI agents.
There's
and
nothing protecting email, right? That's so interesting to me. Like
Well,
people
there's
can.
there's canned spam.
Well,
laws
no,
and
I
things
meant like
that.
you can't sue someone on a do not email list, right?
No,
That's not a real thing, is
But
it?
if you do unsubscribe and you continue to get emails, 100% you can.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, did not know that. Okay, but that's why there's a lot of like ours doesn't. We don't send it out to unsubscribe people. Like they're unsubscribed.
No,
Got it.
they unsubscribe. The thing is where companies get around it, but that's like if you get too many spam complaints and not honor unsubscribes, like Google will stop sending your emails. They'll send them straight to spam.
Wow.
So they won't deliver them to the inbox. That's what I'm saying. Like when you think about agentic AI, if it's really taking over the conversation and doing text, call, email, chat, and all those things, and sending emails that aren't just like, because you think about the emails we typically send are like, hey, put this name in the subject line, put the amount of properties in the subject line. It'll essentially just it'll create, unique subjects and unique content on every email.
Dang.
It's that's the one, to me, that's the one thing that's a little bit scary.
Really?
Yeah, it's like totally letting it loose.
Just like off the rails and just let it go.
Yeah, it's, but I mean, people use it all the time, and most people are freaking using a prompt to write an email. You could do it in Claude Cowork now, where you could create emails and push it in, and it's essentially the same thing. It uses all the different. The cool thing is, whenever you're setting them up, we could set up a really, really good model that's really, really intelligent. There's going to be a higher credit, cost for that. Or you could have like with a roofing company, you're not intelligent, but they don't need to know as much information, right? So it's like you could use a less expensive model there. And as the models, they're getting less and less expensive. Like you don't need the complexity of, a model that's a shitload of credits. Like
Just to make it sound British.
no, it's not even about the voice. It's just like the what it can figure out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The when you take a model and tie it to a massive knowledge base, it's got to be pretty smart.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is like a lot of times the smarter ones are the slower ones, and you can't really use them on calling because it's like you say something and I'm sitting here for 10 seconds,
Waiting for it to reply.
and then I would start speaking. So
Dang.
but yeah.
Fun.
Have coming at SureSend.
So yeah, this is what we have coming to SureSend. So if anybody wants to learn more about that stuff, just be
SureSend.ai.
SureSend.ai.
14-day free trial.
Oh yeah. Or just add Preston on Facebook and watch his Facebook videos.
Or suresenddemo.com.
SureSendDemo.com.
And you can get to talk to Travis Sowers.
Please talk to me. And Karsten. I'm adding them on everything.
Carson, he's over there.
Stud, dude.
Yeah.
Gosh.
that
We could
be
do a
our-
whole
that could
episode
actually be
about
our
it.
next episode. There we go.
Bye.
See y'all next time.